Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, everybody? John here, and it's time to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This review will have some minor spoilers, so if you want to go watch this movie without being spoiled at all, just do not watch this video. And then after watching the movie, then you can come back. And this movie continues after Into the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy. So what are they up to after the events of the first film? Miles is older now. He's continuing with school. Gwen, she's fighting crime and she's dealing with her own family issues with her and her dad. And because of the relationship they had in the first film, they felt like they connected with each other, and there's like a missing spot because they couldn't really connect to others around them, like their family members or other friends. Because they're spider people. So with this movie, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller and the team have knocked it out of the park again with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The film packs a lot of heart and a lot of spider characters and cameos, and I've grown to care about Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy and their journey, and it is heartbreaking and emotional. And it definitely ranks up there as one of the best Spider-Man films. And the running time of 2 hours and 60 minutes just wasn't enough. But luckily, there is a part 2. And so we're going to have more adventures with Miles Morales, with Gwen Stacy, with Peter Parker and the rest. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, one of my favorite Spider-Man films, and the animation team and the voice actors, Haley Steinfeld and Shamik Moore, playing Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales respectively, just wonderful. And you watch them, you care about their characters, you care about their story. And with this movie, Gwen Stacy gets more screen time. She's like now a major character along with Miles Morales, both of them. And this is kind of like a love story a little bit. And it's also about friendship. And so with Miles and Gwen, their stories, they kind of can relate to each other. It kind of parallels with each other on how they're just fighting crime. They're just trying to live their life now that they're on their own respective world, and they miss that camaraderie with just hanging out with another person who has the same powers. They have a lot in common, like the important stuff with swinging around, web shooting, and all that. And yeah, it gets really emotional just with their story that deals with their family, with Miles and his parents and how the parents care about him. But then he's a teenager, so he's trying to do his own thing. And you also have Gwen Stacy, who's dealing with her dad, who's a captain. And the captain, he's like very much just by the book. So when there's a clash between her dad and herself as Spider-Woman, it gets pretty emotional because the captain is like, what is he going to choose? Is he going to choose to protect his daughter, or he's going to try to do the right thing, or whatever it is that he feels is right, and try to apprehend Spider-Woman? And so this movie really knows how to just create tension, create drama, create just a lot of the emotional pull on your heartstring moments. And that's especially the case with Miles with his parents, where they just want him to just not be lost and just have a good life. But then he's trying to deal with it by himself, and he feels like he's too constricted, and he wants to be just more free to do what he wants. So yeah, with these two characters, just grown to love them, and they just bring in like the voice talent and the animation team. They bring the warmth, the spirit, and the care for these characters. And I just want more movies, everything just on Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. And if that's not enough of the emotional moments for this film, there's more, especially with how it deals with Miles Morales, because in the first film, it's all about how he becomes Spider-Man. Here, it's whether he is a phony or not, whether he truly deserves to become Spider-Man. And it also deals with like just what is a hero? Like, what do you do? Do you save the people you love, or you try to save the whole world? And it's like these choices that will make it harder on these characters, and that's what the Spider Society is there for. The Spider Society, it's just a lot of spider characters in the Spider-Verse where they get their moment to shine, like a little bit. And there's so much here, like a lot of Easter eggs that you're gonna have to rewatch the movie just to see a lot of these characters. But the new characters that show up, you have Spider-Punk, and with Spider-Punk, he's voiced by Daniel Kaluuya. And Daniel Kaluuya, he's a great actor. He's been Get Out, and here as Spider-Punk, he is very cool and just a rebel. And he's got the cool, the cool like rock and roll look, the punk look, and he doesn't listen to anybody. Like, he does his own thing. Yeah, the art style is really cool. Just the way it looks, like it captures that punk design, those punk rock posters. And yeah, he's definitely one of my new favorite characters in this movie. And I was really excited to see this character because when I played Marvel's Spider-Man on the PlayStation, the skin, the outfit, Spider-Punk, I would choose that as my main outfit. And it just looks cool, and he feels cool, and he's like, yeah, like just a badass. And then the other characters, the other newest addition that are big characters, you have Spider-Woman, and then you also have Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 29-9. And these characters, one is the kind of like just caring, but just focus on just trying to preserve the Spider Society. And that's the same thing with Miguel, where he really wants to preserve the Spider-Verse, and he has his own rules. He's very strict and very serious, and he because of his goals, his ideals for Spider Society, he's going to clash with Miles Morales, and that creates tension. So he's acting as the antagonist for this movie, because him and the Spider People, they're here to try to preserve the Spider-Verse. Things that Miles Morales has done in the events of the first film has caused a lot of trouble for them, so he's trying to fix things. And so, yeah, with these characters, especially with Oscar Isaac performing, he does a good job with this character. So nothing more I can say other than, yeah, with the type of characters, yeah, there's just a good antagonist just for Miles Morales. Great lesson in whether you would fit along, and these characters serve as the whole, is the grass greener on the other side or not? Because Miles and Gwen, they are looking for a place to feel like they belong, and they don't feel like they belong in their own world because they have special powers, extraordinary powers. And so they're looking for that with the Spider People and the Spider Society. Yeah, there's a lot of other Spider characters, including the Indian version of Spider-Man, who's voiced by Karan Soni, who was in Deadpool 2. And this Spider-Man resides in Mumbai, which is like a combination of Manhattan and Mumbai. And he is he's a fun character, very stylish, very handsome. We get to explore that world and see just how Mumbai looks like, and it all plays a part of the main story. And I do want to talk about the many different Spider-Verses that are featured in here. There could have been a lot more that could be explored, but with this one, it's more. This one is way more than what we had with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because I feel like that one was such a tease. Like, you're gonna have a movie called Multiverse of Madness. I want to see madness, and that one only had like 2 main multiverses that's shown. And with this one, we do get a lot more than just 2. We have Moonbat, we have Miles' world, and we also have Gwen's world, and a few others. But I feel like this one, in terms of the Spider-Verse, it doesn't go too crazy into other Spider-Verses. Like, for example, Everything Everywhere All at Once, where that movie just really goes all out and goes. That is the Multiverse of Madness. But this one has enough of the Spider-Verses that will entertain and it will excite. And these Spider-Verses, one of them would be live action, another one would be animated or even stop motion. Like, once you watch it, you'll be like, oh man, this is really cool. And just like the first film, right? The first film was a love letter to just Spider-Man and comic books. So this one is, again, a love letter to Spider-Man and comic books, especially with all the cameos and the Easter eggs. So you already know there's going to be a lot of Spider characters, and these range from just comic books to video games to the animation and even live action. And other aspects that are just inspired by comic books is the narratory blocks and just like the description of locations, like here it is, or even the ones where you read a comic book and it has an asterisk and you're like reading the asterisk to learn more about like what a certain word means, or where you can learn more about a character's background. So it even has that. Because Miles is the main character in this one, and then Gwen is also another main character. So we really get to see her world, which is very stylized, very pastel-like, painterly, and it's beautiful. Yeah, her world's a lot of light colors, and her world, the background changes like depending on the mood. So it can be really dark and gloomy, and then all of a sudden it can be really bright and just a lot of light blues. And the villain, so who's like the main villain here? It's you have the character of Spot, who's voiced by Jason Schwartzman, and he's a funny character because Spot has the power to just use his spots, and you put your arm around and it'll reach together like a portal. And this is like a joke character because Miles would call him the villain of the week, but he plays a major role in this, especially with the whole Across the Spider-Verse, the whole Spider-Verse, and dealing with vengeance and just a lot of anger. But yeah, this is a funny funny villain, and just like the design and just the way he acts, he's gonna bring a lot of laughter for the audiences that's watching this movie. As for the thing that I feel bummed out about for this one, of course, it's just one half of a movie or one half of a larger story because it's just part one. It does end in a cliffhanger. The ending, there's still enough to show like there's a turning point, so you get ready, you're excited about the next film. And yeah, even with like a lot of the different Spider-Verse that's shown here, I still want to see more because there are a lot of surprises, but I want more. And another thing I wanted to see is more of the same Spider team that we got from the first film, like just more of them. They have definitely been reduced in terms of screen time. So out of all of them, Peter B. Parker would have the most screen time. And the others are like, oh, they're just not there yet. So that's why we have a part 2 of this. So hopefully they get more screen time. They get to appear and just do more stuff because I really like that team. But we have other Spider cameos that are introduced here. So that means they get more time to shine. And they're done to great comedic effect. But yeah, I think with this one, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it's bigger, it's crazier, still emotional, and just pulls on your heartstring. Very impactful. It's just a story between Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy. Like, I care about these characters and their families and just the drama that they have to deal with. And I can't wait for the next Spider-Man Spider-Verse film. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the film, and once you get a chance to watch this, let me know what your thoughts are on the comments below. With that said, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.